Hello guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Kensthetic with the Kensthetics, and I'm here with you guys today with a new video. So today's video is going to be a chit chat. I want to speak to you guys as I do this poppin' makeup look. The topic of today's chit chat, get ready with me, is going to be entrepreneurship, having a 9-to-5 job, being an entrepreneur. Which is better? What should you be doing? We're going to get into it in today's chit chat, get ready with me video. So if you guys are interested in hearing my thoughts, opinions, and some tips, then go ahead and keep on watching. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that red subscribe button down below, and turn on your bell notifications. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a big thumbs up, and don't forget to drop a comment down below. Now let's go ahead and get into how I achieved this makeup look and a chit chat. Okay, so for today's beat, I'm just gonna do a basic beat with a pop of color in my lip. Spring is coming. You guys should already know that spring is my favorite season, so I just want to do a nice cute beat. I have my hair in this updo, so I want my lip to be the center of attention. So I will go ahead and link all of the items that I'm using down below, just so that we can focus on the chit chat. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So my brows are already on, as you guys can see. I can't speak and do my brows, so I went ahead and just did it before we got started. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off by priming. But as you guys can tell by the title and the intro, the topic of today's chit chat is, ooh, not me not having a forehead to prime, child. Hold on. The topic of today's chit chat is entrepreneurship. So I feel like through social media nowadays, we feel pressured to want to be an entrepreneur, right? We see all of these people owning businesses, providing services, making all of this money without what we think of, without having to put in so much effort, without having to clock into someone's company, into someone else's time, being bossed around by someone else. All of these things, these positive connotations that we see when it comes to entrepreneurship. But I'm here to let you guys know in today's chit chat that it is not meant for everyone to be an entrepreneur, and that is absolutely fine. Okay, so just a little backstory if you're new, if this is your first time here. My name is Kendra, aka Kensthetic, and I have a 9-to-5 job. I am a financial consultant, but I do digital creation on the side. So yes, you guys see the pretty pictures on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you do at Kensthetic_. You guys see the consistent videos on my YouTube channel, but this is not my full-time job. This is not my only obligation. Okay, this is something I do for fun. This is something that ended up making me lots of money, but at the same time, what pays the bills, what keeps the lights on is my 9-to-5 job, me being a financial consultant. So for me, I tell you guys this all the time, I do not like to keep all of my eggs or put all of my eggs into one basket. I don't like to put all of my eggs into one basket, so I don't ever foresee myself doing digital creation full time. That's just my thoughts and opinions right now. That could change, that can stay the same, but that's just how I feel as of this very second, right? So I know for a fact that I'm not at the point of my life where I can be a full-time entrepreneur. I guess I consider myself an entrepreneur with my whole digital creation situation, but for the most part, I know that I'm not at a point in my life where I can see myself being a full-time entrepreneur. As I'm verbally saying this thought, I was discussing this not too long ago. I'm like, we never know when the right time is, right? But I just know that at this point, if I had to choose like full-time entrepreneur or do whatever I do, I would do what I do with my 9-to-5 and my digital creation, because I just know at this point in my life, I'm not fully responsible to be a full-time entrepreneur. And that's just how I feel, okay? So that's just a little backstory. Now let's go ahead and get into like the real chit chat, I guess. I'm going to take my head wrap off so I can actually get into my forehead. I did this slick back puff situation. I showed you guys in Sunday's vlog. Okay, it's looking nice, looking alright. As someone who has a full-time 9-to-5 job, and also we can say is an entrepreneur on the side with my digital creation, I just feel and I learned that there's so many things that you will learn working for someone else that you will never learn working for yourself. And I say this in terms of like soft skills, so like communication, networking, discipline, all of these different things that I know for a fact that I would not learn if I was like working for myself from the jump, you know what I'm saying? And then also my skill set, so accounting, all of the things that I've learned working with my different clients, I would have never learned if I was just being an entrepreneur or working for myself. So there's so much value in having a full-time job and working for someone else that you may not see at the time, or you may not ever see, but it just blesses your life in so many ways that you wouldn't know, like you would never pay attention to, if that makes sense. So for everyone who's out here preaching like you need to be an entrepreneur, you need to make $1 million by tomorrow, while that may be your story, that is not everyone's story. We have to remember that God doesn't make anyone's story the same. Like life would not be exciting, life would not be interesting if everyone's story was the same. And I feel like right now we're all caught up in this race because of social media, like, oh, I'm 25 and I don't have $1 million. What am I doing wrong? Or I'm 25 and I don't own a business. What am I doing wrong? And I'm doing this video to let you guys know, no matter what your age is, no matter what your situation is, your work status, that being an entrepreneur isn't for everyone. You could be watching this video, you could be an entrepreneur, you could be, starting that journey and it may be working out for you. Good, great, congratulations. I'm wishing you the best of luck. But a lot of people feel pressured, and I don't like that. Like, I don't like that. So many people ask me like, oh, when are you going to quit your job? And the fact that it's quote unquote a norm for people to feel like once you're making money from a side hustle, once you're making money outside of your job, that you have to quit. It's me trying to do this without a mirror. That you have to quit is beyond me. Like, I low-key like my job. Like, I like my job. I like my team. I like what I do. Yes, it does take time away from my day. But when you enjoy doing things and when you genuinely want to do things, you will find the time to do it. So when it comes to my videos, you guys may know this from watching my vlogs. Ooh, not me running out of concealer. I need to go to Ulta ASAP. I do my schedule in a way where I'm able to produce videos consistently. So I bulk record on the weekends and I edit after work during the week. That way, if I'm, having a longer day at work or whatever the case is, I know my videos already at least recorded and all I have to do is edit. Editing for me doesn't take long because honestly, I don't really do much when it comes to editing my videos, but we'll get there one day. But I just say all of that to say that the fact that people just feel so inclined or feel like the norm is that once you're making money outside of your job, you have to quit. It's just like, no, baby. First of all, I do digital creation because I want to. I feel like when you switch something from being a hobby to being a source of income, your intentions change. Even though you may not realize it, even though it may not be your intention, things change. Like, you're doing things because you're like, okay, what's the little meme, like, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna make this money by tomorrow. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna make this money by tomorrow.
I gotta think of a way to get this money by tomorrow. I gotta think of a way to get,
And I never want to feel that way because I live a materialistic lifestyle. I like things. I like bags. I like shoes. I like spending money. I like doing nice things. I like going on trips. And I would never feel comfortable changing my lifestyle just to fit a certain work status. Like, I never want to feel like, okay, I'm an entrepreneur, but I never know how much money I'm making this month. I can't do that, okay? Because when baby wants a new pair of shoes, baby wants a new pair of shoes, and I'm baby, okay? So these are just things that I know, and I had to sit down and talk to myself. Like, people are asking me, when am I quitting my job? When am I quitting my job? And the real answer is never. Or I don't want to say never, but not right now. I'm comfortable. I'm happy. So if you are someone who works a 9-to-5 job, whether you have a business on the side, whether you don't, whether you're in the works of creating a business on the side, do not feel pressured to have to quit your job in order to pursue your passion or whatever you want to do on the side. It's going to be tiresome. It's going to take a discipline for you to work a 9-to-5 job, or in some cases even more than a 9-to-5 job, and still find the time and have the energy and invest everything that you can into your side hustle because you're passionate about it. So for instance, if you have a 9-to-5 job and you want to start doing hair on the side, you're going to have to clock out of your 9-to-5 job, and you're going to have to find whatever energy you need to find to take your hair clients, or to do hair school at night, or to do whatever you have to do in order to pursue that passion on the side. So I'm saying this off of the strength of, it's not going to be easy. I never said it's going to be easy. It's possible, but it's not easy. Nothing in life that's worth having is easy. Remember that I told you that. But you're going to have to discipline yourself. You're going to have to find the time, find the energy to do that, because it's not easy. It's not easy. Like, so many times people ask me, or people say, I don't know how you do it. And it's like, baby, I don't know how I do it either. Like, to have a 9-to-5 job, to have a very active social life, to like not always be traveling, because I don't travel as much as I did before, but to, you know, take a trip here and there, to produce my content, to like be blessed with so many sponsorships and have deadlines for that. It's a lot. It's really a lot. And I sometimes sit back and reflect, and I'm like, how am I going to get this done? And by the grace of God, it always gets done. That's one thing about it, okay? So if you have a 9-to-5 job and you want to pursue a passion, go ahead and do it. All I'm saying is, you do not have to quit your job before you start investing in your passion. And you should not, because it's like, how are you going to fund your passion? You need to have money. You need to have money. You need to be making money. You got to feed yourself. You got to feed your kids. You got to feed, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people feel like, oh, I want to do this, and they just quit everything and jump into it. And as I mentioned before, it may work out for some people, but that is not the story that God wants to paint for everyone's life. So if I quit my job while I was pursuing, like, you know, being a digital creator, how would I be able to buy myself all of this beautiful, lovely equipment? I would not be able to. How would I be able to buy these products that I'm using to do like reviews and stuff? I would not be able to. How would I be able to afford these outfits, baby? I would not be able to. So I say all of this to say, you need to have money to fund your passion. So don't quit your job. Don't quit your job. That's what I'm here to say. Don't quit your job. This setting powder from One Size Beauty, game changer. And I started doing that little tip that I saw Leah's face do, where she put the powder on the sponge and then she dapped it on the back of her hand, and then went in and applied the excess. So that's what I've been doing. And I do feel like it makes a huge difference, because I don't end up putting a whole bunch of powder on my face. Another thing that I wanted to speak about is, I wanted to share some tips for people who do, you know, work a 9-to-5 job and are an entrepreneur on the side, whether you have a business, whether you do what you do, okay? I want to share some tips, because these are things that I learned through mistakes, things that I learned through going through life. And I just feel like if you're watching this video and you're considering like, I have a 9-to-5 job, do I also want to be an entrepreneur on the side? These are just some things that I think that you should know that will be helpful. First of all, create your LLC. Not just create your LLC, but figure out what business structure works for you and make sure you establish it. So, for instance, my brand Kensthetic, my personal brand, which is basically my Instagram platform, digital creation, providing services. In case you guys don't know, I do provide services, so check it out on my website, kensthetic.net/services. I'll have it on the screen and link down below. But figure out what business structure works best for you and create it. So I created an LLC for my brand, Kensthetic LLC. Yes, baby, she is official. She is that one. But the purpose of having the LLC for me was more so for separation of business versus personal. So with my LLC, I was able to create a separate account. So I have a bank account for Kensthetic. So whenever I spend any money related to my business, I can just use that account, and it's easier for tax purposes. So when it's time for me to file my taxes, I can look through my bank statement separately and see, what expenses I incurred. Also, building your business credit. So for instance, if you want to have an office space, if you want to have a work car, if you want to have a warehouse, or whatever the case is, you can use your business credit to do that, and you don't have to, not ruin, but you don't have to utilize your personal credit for that. Business credit is so important, and I feel like I've been seeing a lot of people speaking about it more now, which I'm really excited and happy about. But that's something that I didn't know when I decided to create my personal brand and do all of these things. These are just things that I learned along the way, how important business credit is. So these are things that you don't have to do by tomorrow, but these are just things that you should consider and things that you should work on. To create my LLC, I use my lawyer. My lawyer is the GLL Law. It's a woman-owned law firm. They're great. My friend Monique is one of the partners. That's the person that I work with, and I would highly recommend, if you need help creating your LLC. You may feel like, oh my God, I could do it on my own to save money. But one, it's a tax write-off, and two, you rather pay, or that's just how I felt. I'm like, I'd rather pay and get it done right the first time versus doing it being wrong, and then me having to pay someone to correct it, because I just feel like that's more frustrating on their behalf. Like, damn, you could have just came to me from the beginning. If you are doing something, whether you are providing a product or a service, you need to trademark your business, trademark whatever you're doing, because that way you protect your business. So if somebody wants to pull up and then they can steal your idea or your business, they can't. And if they do, you can sue them. But yes, make sure you trademark whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're providing a service, selling a product. Trademark, okay? So those are the tips I mainly have for people who have a 9-to-5 job and a business on the side or whatever. But I also wanted to give some tips to people in general, whether you are just an entrepreneur or 9-to-5 plus entrepreneur, is to make sure that you are continuously educating yourself. And I spoke about this in my last chit chat, which was the woman empowerment chit chat, that at this point in our life, we're not in school. We don't have anyone holding our hands. We're not in positions where we're continuously learning. Like when we were in school, oh my God. We have to do these things for ourselves, right? Like, we can't sit around and wait for someone to tell us, like, you need to know this, or you need to have this skill, or be able to do this. We have to figure out those things on our own. So some ways that you can educate yourself is through Skillshare. I speak about Skillshare all of the time, and guess what? Your girl still has not created a membership, but I'm gonna hold myself accountable and get that done, okay? But working on Skillshare, learning new things through Skillshare, reading books. I have a whole list of books that I would like to read. So reading books, having conversations with people, whether it's like a mentor, a coach. And if you don't have a mentor, you should definitely look into getting one. Mentors are so important for growth. And I feel like a lot of people don't put as much importance on mentors as they should. I spoke about this in my women's empowerment chit chat too. I'm like, throughout the month of March, which is now, we should all challenge ourselves to connect with at least one woman. But I could do a whole separate video on mentorship. If you guys want to see that, just let me know down below in the comments. My face is kind of dry. So yes, the face, how it's looking. My hair is looking good. She's growing. And when I do my fro, I gotta look at it from different angles to make sure, like, things are flat. Because we don't want no flat back, okay? We want to make sure everything is nice and voluminous. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Face card, always valid. Always valid. So as I mentioned, I want to do a pop of color. Spring season is here. I'm bringing out all the colors. Like, me in a colored lip Chef's Kiss Undefeated. So the lip I'm going to put on today is the Lip Bar Playmate. In case you guys don't know, the Lip Bar is woman owned and black owned. Honestly, my favorite lipstick brand. If you haven't tried their products, definitely check them out. They are carried in Target. And I'm going to line my lips using my Sephora Molasses lip liner. So let's go ahead. And I don't think I've done this lip combo before. So let's see what it's hitting for. This lippy baby. But I'm gonna go ahead, fix myself up, put some earrings on so I can give y'all the full look. So I'll be right back. So I went ahead and, zip myself up. I ended up throwing on a pair of lashes because I just felt like this makeup look deserved a pair of lashes. So I did put on these Sade lashes from MBK Glam. Y'all know my go-to lashes. And I feel good. I feel good. These earrings are from Forever 21. I bought them a while ago and I just put on a little top. Y'all know I love me my little tops. But this is a complete look. So comment down below and let me know your thoughts on this look. Do y'all like the lip? Because I'm loving the lip, period. The Lip Bar lippies never disappoint. Like ever disappoint. And I really hope you guys enjoyed my chit chat too with me sharing tips on entrepreneurship, having a 9-to-5 job, juggling the two, things that you should know and things that you should do to make sure that you are progressing well in both areas. And yeah, so if you guys enjoy, make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Like, are you a full-time entrepreneur? Do you plan to be? Do you have a 9-to-5 job? Are you planning to quit your job? Did you guys find anything in this video helpful? Comment down below and let me know. Give this video a big thumbs up, turn on your bell notifications, and until my next video, I'll see you guys later.